Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my kitchen. So today I have a lovely, yummy meal in store for us. We're gonna be cooking for us. We're gonna be cooking up some pan-seared salmon, paired with some sautéed bok choy and dandelion, and all the fixins. And then a newbie just stumbled upon this week in the store. It's newly in season. Some chestnut mushrooms. So they're very interesting. I researched them. They're packed with so many healing benefits. We're gonna get to all of that. But in the meantime, y'all grab your notes, grab your groceries, whatever you have. Let's meet in the kitchen, y'all, and let's get to this. Okay, so these are the mushrooms. Oh my gosh, look at them. They look so yummy, so much fun to work with. Let me go ahead and, so what we do with this right here is you see this little part right here. This is where the mushrooms like grow. So this is not edible. This is the only non-edible part on this mushroom. So we're gonna go ahead and just cut this right on off. And then you'll see it just come apart. Now these little legs, per the research, right? I told you I did my research. It gives, well, first, the main chestnut mushroom, it has more like a nutty flavor, rich, bold flavor. They say that the little stems of here, they give more like asparagus taste, of asparagus texture. So how we clean them, you don't want to submerge them, and that's the same with most mushrooms. You don't want to submerge them because they absorb a lot of water. You just want to brush away, any and all of the little stuff that we just don't want to be a part of the mushroom, and you'll be able to see it. Okay, so we have our salmon, right? So you already know how I clean my salmon. I like to clean it with that filter water at least 3 times, and then I go ahead and squeeze some lemon on it. And then when I go and just leave it in the fridge, just so that lemon juice can, do its thing. But right now we're gonna go ahead and get to seasoning it up, right? But let me turn on that stove so our pan is hot, right? You want to make sure when we cook, that pan is already hot. You also want to make sure when you cook your seafood or even like, your poultry and stuff, that you don't cook it straight out the refrigerator, right? You want to let it get some to room temperature for a second. So I seasoned it with this, one of my favorite Kinders. It's a buttery garlic herb seasoning, some pepper. I do have some, this is some cayenne pepper here. I think it's a mix, maybe like cayenne pepper and a California Anaheim chili pepper too. We have some pink Himalayan salt right here. And I like to just, sometimes I mix it, all the seasonings in a little bowl and then put it together. But I was like, you know what, for the sake of time in the video, I can just go one by one. But for the videos, I like it to be cute. But hey, y'all, we organic over here, right? We just gonna do it how we do it. This is a little bit of mustard seed. You don't have to, that's just a preference. I feel like I just want that right now. I have a little bit of parsley as well too. And then we're gonna go ahead and finish with some garlic. And then what I do is I'm going to flip it over. So like I said, we do have that lemon already in here. So we'll flip it over and then I'm going to hit it off on that side. But what we like to do, right? I have to get a nice sharp knife. We're cooking this on the stove top. So you could go ahead and just squeeze your salmon just a little bit. Make sure you get a nice sharp knife, squeeze it a little bit. So when we cut into it, it's just easier for us to do it. So we'll slice it. I think I'm gonna give it maybe about three good sears. Maybe I could just stop at 2, low key. It's up to you guys. I'm gonna just stop at 2. That's how mine is. And then we're gonna go ahead and hit it up a little bit more with that seasoning, right? So the seasonings can just really get in there really good, nice and juicy. And then I like to, obviously we're going to cook it on stovetop, but nice and slow, just so it has time to, the flavors can go ahead and blend and marry in there exactly how we want them to be for those taste buds, right? Because it's all about that taste. So the same seasonings that I use on the top, I will use on the bottom, a little bit of pepper, and then let's finish it off with some cayenne pepper. Just a little nice little boost, right? And then, obviously all of our herbs and our seasonings and everything, we like to get those healing benefits from everything, That cayenne likes to just clear it on up. Those other herbs are just good for longevity. Just a little bit of parsley and stuff, not too much, but we're going to add a little bit more when it gets back in there. But it's good for liver health, heart health. You have ahead on the parsley, that garlic is really good, you know, for respiratory, immune system, immune health. You know, we're coming in summer, leaving out of one season, hitting in another. Hopefully you stay, that immune system stays nice and lifted up, just so you don't get that summer sickness. Summer flu is nothing like it. That's the worst thing. I don't even want to wish that on my worst enemy. So now we're going to go ahead and take this to the stove, and let me move y'all over to the stove and meet me over. Okay, so now we're at the stove. Let's go ahead. You know, I like that avocado oil. Go ahead and just drizzle some of this over in that pan. Let me get my nice little paintbrush that I had. Let's get it nice and around here. I did rinse it off, dip that in my water. Bam. So now we're going to go ahead and do that salmon. We are going to start with that skin down. I have it on the medium high. And we're going to let that do its thing. We're going to cook it. But then right over here on the back stove, I'm going to go ahead and start our potatoes, right? Because we're going to get everything started. This is not going to take too long to cook. So I have a potato. I went ahead and just diced it up and cut it up. I did have it in the oven just for a little bit, just to get it a little soft. I'm going to say, what was it? Like maybe like 20 minutes. Chopped it up, put it right over here. And we're going to get some butter added to that too. Let's go ahead. Y'all know my favorite little butter. Yes, yes. We'll just get a little bit of that added in there along with some more. Let that cook down just for a little bit, and then we're going to add some of the onions and everything to that too. All right. You hear it talking to us a little bit. We're going to go ahead and check it. Still good. It's nice and cold at the top, so that's a good little check, a little indicator. If you look in here, you can see when that color starts to rise up a little bit, right? When it gets a little darker pink, a little bit more at the top, we can go ahead and give it a young flip. Or like I said, you could do a little touch at the top to see the temperature. It's a little cold. If it's really, really cold, obviously it needs more time. Medium cold, you could flip it, but I like mine's well done. So I'm going to just give it a little bit more. Right over here, as you see. Right over here, as you see, you have those potatoes. I add a little bit of butter. And we just saute that, just cook those down. I'm going to add the seasonings and the other herbs and veggies in a little bit. Just going to cook down nice and low. Kind of like smashed potatoes, but not really. Sometimes the smashed potatoes, it'll be the whole red potatoes. You kind of bake them a little bit. Then you smash them and then throw it back in the skillet and do it like that. I'm reverse smashing the potatoes, right? So we have it like this. And then over here, we're going to get ready for our beautiful, nice bok choy and dandelion mix, right? It's going to be so good. It's great for liver health, great for, you know, majority of the things we eat when it's green, vitality, immune system, immune support, and health like that, right? Sidebar, let's go ahead and add some little seasoning to the potatoes. Have a little pepper, pink Himalayan salt. Let me grab a nice little Italian seasoning, little basil, oregano, rosemary, a little bit of that to that. And then let's see what's going on. We're going to go ahead and give this a flip. Nice and warm now to that touch. Bam. See how those, you know, you got that flavor and everything right inside. That's why when you cut those little sears, it's just so good. It can just, you know, soak up more of that flavor, more of your seasonings and everything like that, right? So next, we will be getting our stove and everything ready for our veggies. All right, first things first, I'm gonna just slice some butter up in here. Just get this going. We're going to start with just sauteing some garlic and some onions in here. What I'm gonna do before I go ahead and flip this salmon is I'm just gonna add a little bit of butter in here now, right? Because what we're going to do, just prep for more flavor absorption, but I'm also, there we go. Like I said, we're also going to get it ready for more flavor absorption, but we're also going to get some more stuff added up in here right quick. So Bam, we have that, and we're gonna still let it cook. I'm gonna add just some little dry herbs, right? So I'm just gonna add a little bit of thyme that I have left and oregano. Let that do that. Let that cook down for about just, I would say about 6 to 8 more minutes. Actually, let's just go ahead and swoop right on over here, right quick, and get this pot and everything ready for our onions and our garlic. All right, so let's get this up for our A. All right, we got a little garlic. Let's put a little garlic in here. Sprinkle, sprinkle, winkle. There we go for the garlic. That was for the potatoes. Let me stir my potatoes. Check on these back here. Okay, nice. So we're cooking our potatoes on low as well. This right here, we're getting this ready for this bok choy and the dandelion. So let me go ahead and just add a little bit of onions in here too. These are for my mushrooms. Let me add my onions for our onions. All right. I see my salmon talking to me, popping, sizzling, sizzling over there. I know y'all hear that too. All right. We got our onions. I just like to break it up because, you know, sometimes when you cut them, you kind of like to stay a little stuck together. We could separate them a little. If you see or notice your stuff is sticking on the bottom, you can add some more oil or you can add more butter. Literally, it's up to you, your preference, you know. But like I said, it's still on that low medium. And we're just going to saute that just so it gives us that base, right? That flavor and that base. I'll add a little bit more butter. And I'll add the rest over here to my potatoes. And then let's check on this fish. It's smelling really great. Nice. You could see how it is right at the top. You see at the bottom how that color line went all the way up. So it's a nice solid pink now. If you do like your salmon cooked lightly or rare, you know what I'm saying? It's still cooked so you won't get sick. That's how you know it's about time. You can still obviously cook it a little more. Like I said, I like mine well done. So I'm still going to just let that cook a little bit more. And then we're going to come over here. And we will cook our dandelion first, right? That's going to take a little bit more time. It's a little bit more rough. We'll go ahead and, how beautiful this is. We're going to go ahead and cook the dandelion first. I'm just going to break it like this. You can definitely leave it whole. You know what I'm saying? It's just like spinach and like your collard greens and stuff like that. It will go ahead and cook down, you know, so you don't have to worry about that. I'll let that cook about 3 minutes first before adding my bok choy to the mix. And then I still will add some other veggies too. Actually, right now, let me just go ahead and add the rest of those veggies in there. Be a nice little veggie medley, right? So we have our 3-color bell peppers. We have our yellow, our orange, and our red. We'll add that on in there. And then I will add some green onions. I have a little bit more red onions, but we don't need that right now. All right. So we'll let that cook down, like I said, for about a good 3 minutes. And just add a little bit more. That dandelion is so good, so healthy, so rich for you. All right. Let's go ahead. Close that out. Check on our salmon because we're going to be ready to get that salmon out right now. Take that salmon out. So right here, we're just getting this flavor and everything ready because we're going to cook the mushrooms in this same dish. So we could take our mushrooms and let's just put them down on in here. I will take my time in that out. Get our mushrooms on going. Throw those babies in there. So for there, we're going to go ahead and just add some garlic to that. Let me add some onions to here now. Add a little bit of those too. Okay. And you know, mushrooms also, like I said, they absorb water, but they carry a lot of water. So you can see it's adding a little bit more liquid in here. You don't have to add any more butter or oil, but if you do want to, you definitely can. We're going to let these babies continue to cook on a nice little medium high. We're gonna let those simmer down. Then I'll add some seasoning shortly. And then we can get that bok choy popping over here now because it's ready. You hear that? Yeah, you hear me talking. So let me in. Let's go. Let's go ahead and bring this bok choy in the game. Tag me in, coach. We will do that. All right. So I like to just break mine down. That in part be a little dangerous if you're hungry. I be eating a little too fast sometimes, and that end part is a little, eat that bok choy with nice and slowly. Eat it with caution. You could definitely keep it whole too. It's definitely good. I use the leftovers in a veggie stock that I make. The small ones you could keep whole too if you want to, but like I said, I like to keep it. Just like to cut them down. Alrighty. So we have that, and it pairs beautifully with this bok choy pairs beautifully with that dandelion. So good, so good. So dandelion, I usually do my dandelion. I like to experiment with all, right? But I first started doing dandelion in tea. It's really, really great for a number of things. But heart health is one. If you deal with like headaches and stuff like that, it's really great. It's really great for womb health as well too. We are going to add a little bit of butter to this. Get those cooking down. But yeah, it's really, really great as a tea, really great as a food. You know what I'm saying? Just for you to eat in your greens or dress your greens up however you want to. Nice little addition. And speaking of greens, I'm doing both of these for that. No, mushroom. Speaking of greens, we are going to, and I'll make another video with it, but we're actually going to be pairing all of this with some basil pesto sauce that I made. I have a little bit left. I have some basil that I'm growing on my balcony. There's a little bit right here. I'm about to make another batch of that basil pasta. Maybe we'll do it this week on a video and I make it for you guys. All right. Those are going to cook down. I will be back with you guys in a second when we're wrapping it all up. But it is almost done. It's smelling so good. Okay, y'all. So let's go ahead and just get it to the seasoning. We're going to add a little bit of pepper to that. My little bit of garlicky herb seasoning to that. We'll add a little bit of some pink Himalayan and then that garlic. And then let's go ahead and bring it all the way down to a low. We got those onions simmered in them. And one little fun fact too about mushrooms, right? This goes for most mushrooms. They're a little bit hard to overcook. So you really can't overcook them. Some people are heavy handed, leaving that stove on or leaving them on the stove a little too long. Can't really overcook them. So don't feel bad about that. If you do like them a little bit extra charred and stuff, definitely do your thing. But, don't feel bad or think, oh my gosh, I overcooked them. No, they're great. Okay, you guys, we made it to the plate. Let's get to it. This was a great meal. These chestnut mushrooms, I can't stop snacking on them, okay? So I already know it's gonna go crazy with everything else. So we have our sautéed chestnut mushrooms with onions and garlic on top of our pan-seared salmon, and that's laid on top of our and bok choy, bell peppers, onions, green onions, red and green onions, and some garlic. And then we have our pan roasted potatoes, so good. And then I have a little bit of that homemade basil pesto sauce for you guys to see. It is so so good. Ah, I can't wait to get into the smell, you guys. For those of you who follow at home, I hope you guys this turned out amazing too. Please go ahead and like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and let's go ahead and get into this. So you know how we do here on my channel, right? We're gonna give gratitude. We are thankful and grateful for everything we do, we eat, we see, where we at when we wake up, right? So let's go ahead and charge up this meal, charge up these ingredients, give thanks, and let's go ahead and get ready to get to it, right? So Creator, we are thankful for all of the things we have, this meal, the ingredients, the resources, the energy to get here, for the people at home watching or wherever y'all are watching to have those resources to tap in. May every bite be lifted to the highest healing degree. Again, we're grateful and thankful for all the things and everything on this plate. And may this meal last us to our necks. I'll say. Okay, you guys. Let's get to it. All right, what do I want to eat first? I'm definitely trying some of this salmon and a mushroom. I must dive in. Here we go. Mmm, mmm. A little potato with that. Mmm, so bomb. Let me get some of these greens for you guys so we could try this too. Mmm, going crazy. Hey guys, I should have had some water so I could drink this down. I do have some. Sorry, I needed to. Mmm, strawberry ginger water. So bomb. But I needed to rinse that down. I told you how that bok choy do, right? A little slippery, eat too fast, you know. We don't need that happening. But yes, you guys, tap into the smell. This is definitely, I mean, every time I cook, I'm just like, oof. I can't even call the favorites, but this is definitely a hitter right here, you guys. So again, I hope you enjoyed everything. You already know we eat to heal over here. Everything on this plate is lifting us up and healing us at the same time, right? So again, you guys, thank you for tapping in. I hope to see you next time and stay well, y'all.